All right, so welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Yeah, always fun to dive into something new.
Okay, so this time we found this really interesting video about business ideas. You can start for under 100 bucks.
Under 100. Wow.
Yeah, right? And it's specifically targeted at women.
Interesting. Okay.
So I thought, okay, let's look into this and see what they're talking about.
Yeah, see what we can learn.
Yeah, exactly. So the first one that kind of jumped out at me was this whole cash stuffing thing.
Cash stuffing.
Yeah, have you heard of this?
I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is.
So apparently, people are using envelopes and like visually organizing their money, and they're making like 6 figures, 7 figures.
No way. Really? Just from organizing money.
That's what they're claiming in this video. So
Oh, I mean, I guess it makes sense in a way. Like people are so used to digital transactions these days that actually seeing the cash might help them be more mindful of their spending.
yeah, it's that visual, that tactile thing, right?
Exactly. Like you can't ignore an empty envelope.
Makes sense.
Okay, so what's the next idea?
So this one I thought was kind of cool. They're talking about selling empowering T-shirts for little girls.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and specifically they were focusing on like black girls.
Representation matters. I love that.
Exactly. And they were saying, there's this whole market for like niche apparel where people really want something that represents their values.
It's like you're not just selling a t-shirt, you're selling an idea, you're selling a feeling.
Right, exactly. Okay, so the third one, get this, selling year-round products on Etsy.
Okay, I mean, Etsy's huge, but year-round products, what does that even mean?
So they were highlighting this one product that apparently sold over 58 million pieces.
58 million.
Yeah, and made over $585,000.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. What kind of product was it?
They didn't say specifically, but they emphasized that it was something people need year-round, not just seasonally.
Ah, I see. So not Christmas decorations or anything like that?
Exactly, something with consistent demand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it's all about finding those everyday essentials that people are always looking for.
Exactly. All right, idea number 4. This was called retail arbitrage.
Retail arbitrage. That sounds fancy.
It's actually not as complicated as it sounds. Basically, you're finding products that are sold at different prices in different places.
Oh, okay. Like finding something cheap at a discount store and selling it for more online.
Yeah, exactly. You're basically the middleman capitalizing on those price differences.
Interesting. So you don't actually have to manufacture anything or store inventory?
Nope, it's all about sourcing and reselling.
Huh, that's pretty clever.
All right, the fifth idea, wedding planner books.
Oh, those things that brides spend a fortune on.
Exactly. But apparently you can create them yourself using AI tools.
Really? I wouldn't have thought AI could do something like that.
Right. But the video is saying it's actually pretty easy to do, and you can sell them for a good profit.
So you're tapping into that whole wedding industry market without needing any fancy design skills?
Exactly. AI does the heavy lifting for you.
Wow, technology is crazy.
Okay, idea number 6. This one's a little different. Postpartum fitness coaching.
Oh, that's a great idea. So many moms need help with that.
Right. Especially, mothers of color who might not always have access to the resources they need.
Absolutely. There's definitely a growing demand for postpartum fitness programs that are culturally sensitive and tailored to specific needs.
Yeah, it's about providing that specialized support that moms are really looking for.
Okay, I'm liking these ideas so far. What's next?
It's so important, yeah. Okay, on to number 7, calligraphy for weddings.
Calligraphy. Wow, that's pretty old school.
I know, right? But apparently it's making a comeback.
Huh, interesting. I guess there's something about handwritten stuff that just feels more special, Especially for a wedding.
Yeah, that personal touch.
Exactly. You can't get that with a computer font.
True. All right, next up is food related. Launching an online store for a niche cuisine.
Oh, that's cool.
So the example they used in the video was delivering Caribbean food in a place where it was hard to find.
Ah, smart. Find a gap in the market and fill it.
Right. Especially with food delivery being so popular these days, there's definitely room for niche options.
Yeah, people are always looking for something new and exciting to try.
Okay, idea number 9, get this natural hair consultation.
Hair consultation.
Yep. And the YouTuber claimed you could make up to $900 a day doing this.
Seriously, $900 a day.
Yeah. Apparently there's a huge demand for specialized hair care advice, especially for women with natural hair.
Wow. I mean, I guess it makes sense. There's so much information online, but sometimes you just need that personalized guidance from an expert.
Right, somebody who can really understand your hair type and give you advice that's tailored to you.
Exactly. Okay, what's the last idea?
last but not least, building online communities.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they were talking about creating a community specifically for, say, Black mothers,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then, monetizing it through membership fees or other
Okay.
things.
So, like, creating a space where people can connect and support each other, and then offering additional services or resources.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like turning your community into a business.
That's pretty cool. I like that idea.
So there you have it. 10 different business ideas, all under $100.
It's amazing how much you can do with such a small investment.
Right. It's really inspiring to see all these women taking the leap and starting their own businesses.
Yeah, it shows you that you don't need a ton of money to get started. You just need a good idea and the willingness to work hard.
Totally. But I have to admit, even with these low-cost ideas, starting a business can still feel, like, daunting.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, where do you even begin?
Exactly. So, like, what would you say is the first step?
Well, I think the most important thing is to figure out what you're passionate about.
Like, don't just chase the money, chase something you actually enjoy doing.
Exactly. Because when you're passionate about something, it shows and it makes the hard work feel less like work.
That's so true. So let's say I'm really interested in that postpartum fitness coaching idea.
Okay, cool.
What would be my next step?
I would say get really clear on who your target audience is. Like, who are the specific moms you want to reach?
So not just like new moms in general, but like new moms recovering from C-sections or moms experiencing postpartum depression.
Exactly. The more specific you can be, the better you can tailor your services and your marketing.
Okay, that makes sense. And then how would I actually find those moms?
Well, think about where they hang out. Are they active on social media? Are there any local support groups or community centers where you could connect with them?
Okay, yeah. It's starting to feel a little less overwhelming just breaking it down like that.
Exactly. Don't try to do everything at once. Just focus on one step at a time.
All right, so going back to this video, it's specifically focused on business ideas for women. What do you think that is?
Well, I think women face some unique challenges when it comes to starting a business. Like, historically, they've had less access to funding and resources.
Yeah, that's true.
And, they often have to juggle multiple responsibilities, like taking care of kids or family members.
Yeah, that definitely adds another layer of complexity.
So I think this video is really about empowering women to overcome those challenges and build successful businesses on their own terms.
Yeah, it's about creating opportunities and showing that anything is possible.
Exactly. And I love that they highlighted such a diverse range of ideas.
Yeah, from creative stuff like calligraphy to specialized services like natural hair consultation, there's really something for everyone.
And I think that's so important because it shows that women can be successful in any field they choose.
Speaking of those specific ideas, I was really struck by the focus on representation, like those empowering t-shirts for Black girls and natural hair consultation.
Me too. I think it's so important to see businesses that cater to diverse communities and celebrate different identities.
Yeah, it's not just about filling a market gap, it's about making people feel seen and valued.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that consumers are really responding to these days.
Totally. People want to support businesses that align with their values.
Exactly. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Okay, so we've talked about the inspiration behind the video, we've broken down the different business ideas, and we've even discussed some practical first steps.
Yeah, I feel like we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
Yeah.
But I think there's one key element we haven't addressed yet, the fear of failure.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
It can be so paralyzing for aspiring entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, putting yourself out there and starting a business is scary.
So how do we move past that fear? How do we embrace the possibility of failure?
Well, I think it starts with reframing our perspective on failure.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Instead of seeing it as a setback, we need
Mhm.
to view it as a learning opportunity.
So like every failure is just a chance to learn and grow.
Exactly. I mean, think about any successful entrepreneur. They've all faced challenges and setbacks along the way.
Yeah, that's true. It's part of the journey.
Exactly. So don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you from taking action.
Okay, so it's about turning those failures into fuel.
Exactly. Learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward.
That's such a powerful message. So we've covered a lot of ground here today. We've explored 10 unique business ideas, discussed the importance of passion and representation, and even tackled the fear of failure.
Yeah, it's been a really inspiring conversation.
It has. But before we wrap up, I want to touch on one final point.
Yeah.
We focused on businesses you can start for under $100, but how do you actually turn a profit with such a small investment? It almost seems impossible.
Yeah, it does seem kind of crazy, right? Like, how do you make actual money with only $100?
I know, right? It's a good question.
Like, is it even possible?
It is. I mean, the cool thing about a lot of these ideas is they use skills you probably already have.
So you're not starting from scratch.
Exactly. And there's so many free tools and resources online, like social media for marketing, that can help keep costs down.
So you're leveraging what's already out there.
Exactly. And then, the profit comes from your expertise, your passion, and connecting with the right people. Okay, that makes sense. For me personally, that whole online community thing really spoke to me.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Like, I love connecting with people and sharing what I know. So it's kind of cool to think about building a business around that.
I think that's a great idea. And, online communities can be monetized in so many different ways.
Like what?
Well, you could have membership fees, you could offer online courses or workshops, you could even do affiliate marketing.
Wow, there's a lot of options.
Yeah, it's really about finding what works best for your community and what you're passionate about.
It's amazing to think about the potential, right? Like turning something you love into a whole business.
It is, it's really inspiring.
And I guess it comes back to what we were talking about before, finding your niche, something that sets you apart.
Absolutely. That's key for any successful business.
So for all our listeners out there who are maybe thinking about starting a business, what's like the one piece of advice we want them to take away from this whole deep dive?
That's a good question. I think the most important thing is to just take action.
Easier said than done.
Right. I know it can be scary, but it's so easy to get stuck in the planning phase and never actually do anything.
Yeah, you can overthink it forever.
Exactly. At some point, you just got to take that leap of faith.
Done is better than perfect, right?
Exactly. Start small, iterate along the way, but the most important thing is to get started.
I love that. And remember, we're here cheering you on every step of the way.
You got this.
Well, that wraps up another deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Always a pleasure. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing those boundaries.
And don't forget to believe in yourself. You got this.